Line now by Zubeda Limbada, who worked on the Prevent programme herself for a couple of years, and she now heads an organisation called ConnectJustice, which works to build trust between communities and police. The point is, Ms. Limbada, that they are, after all, as the point made in Seema's piece several times, they are children. They're not radicals at that age, are they?
I absolutely agree. It's really quite concerning, the fact that this teacher was probably expressing concerns about how confusing this Prevent duty is now being rolled out. Confusing in the sense of what their duties are as part of making sure that they are addressing the fears around extremism. So there's really no clarity by government in terms of when they're given guidance by the DfE about taking proportionate steps to protect children from the risk of extremism. What does signs of extremism mean? What does proportionate steps mean? And quite often when we talk to teachers around the Prevent duty, one of the big things that's flagged up is around this concept of what does British values mean. The government has expressed British values as saying it's rule of law, it's democracy and individual liberty. But when it comes to a young girl or a young boy expressing views around the headscarf, around those innocent kind of questions, my solution would be around the schools being there to talk these things through and not being referred onto the Channel programme.
Right. But if it goes beyond that, and if the teacher suspects that the child is being, and it's a horrible word in many ways, isn't it, meaningless, and also in many ways radicalised. If the child is being radicalised, then the person to talk to surely is not the child, because they're children, but the parent.
You need to have those conversations first and foremost to explore those views in a school environment.
But with whom? With whom do you have? You can't have that conversation with a child, surely, and it's not the teacher's. It's not the teacher's responsibility to do that. That's something for the parent, surely.
I absolutely agree. I think parents should be involved in that discussion. I think the fear is around the fact that what if a teacher, as a result of feeling was that a sign of extremism, then actually escalating that up.
How do you mean escalating it up? What does that mean?
Escalating it in the sense of because they might have attended a Prevent training programme.
Yeah, but what does it mean, escalating it up?
Escalating in the sense of referring it to the police as a child being vulnerable to radicalisation.
So in other words, I didn't realise this, the teacher has the power to report to the police the fact that that teacher thinks the child is being radicalised. They are able to go directly to the police. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Anyone on the Channel programme, any member of the public can actually refer. There's various terrorist hotlines. Anyone can actually refer. But the new
without going to the parent first?
That's right. And now, what would be encouraged as part of the Prevent duty, so as part of the duty coming out, one of the things that was encouraged was the fact that there are internal processes within schools, whether it's around safeguarding. So there should be a process in place, but really anyone can actually call the police as well. But the point is that the school has a system in place as well.
So you think the way it's working now is wrong, in a nutshell?
I feel that schools should have the training, teachers should have the training around Prevent, but teachers should be able to concentrate on nurturing the mind of their pupils, not about controlling the mind and not being driven by the fear around the fact that if they were not to report this, then they could be accused of various things as well, of not taking that duty responsibly. And I think it's the proportionality of those steps being taken that's important, because when we talk to families, especially within Muslim communities, they're fearful that if their child has been, for example, just recently last week, a parent came to us and said that their child had been watching horrible histories, Henry VIII and beheadings, and if their child was suddenly to go into schools and the child was Muslim, there's a different complexion in this conversation.
Indeed. Zubeda Limbada, many thanks.